You guys wanted the last part of the maid story, and you guys got it. This is the final episode of Me and My Maid. But before we get into it, I just want to mention that if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, and you guys are brand new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are subscribers to the channel, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe like I usually say in every episode. Now, if you guys didn't watch the last two episodes of Me and My Maid, I highly advise watching it, and I did make a playlist about it on the channel. Also, on top of that, did I mention I'm currently live streaming on Twitch as we speak right now? So if you guys do want more details on crazy stories, or just want to hear more crazy stories like this one, click in the description down below and watch me live on Twitch. But other than that, let's get straight into this crazy story. What is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to Me and My Maid. That's right, Me and My Maid story time was a big one. You guys really loved it, and you guys were kept asking for it over and over, and this is it finally. And I think last where we left off was when my maid ended up bringing another woman over to the house that was also a maid, and let's just say she ended up stealing a towel. But this towel wasn't a specific towel. This towel was my Devil's Cream towel. Yes, I know that's weird to say, but just accept it, okay? I didn't know what else to say. 1 month later goes by of me having this maid, and honestly, this maid was just a normal maid, but at the same time, she did some really suspicious things. Like I said, I mentioned in the last two episodes, this maid was not normal. Something was always off about her, and the way she would act towards me, the way she would represent herself towards me was very, how do I put this? As if she always wanted to do the Devil's Tango. But anyways, I remember one time, I was in my room, and this was like a month later before the last time she stole my Devil's Cream towel, and she ended up coming back to our place and working again. My parents weren't home once again because, like I said, they had jobs to do. And I remember I was just at home by myself, just kind of doing my own thing. And by my own thing, yes, I do mean playing Call of Duty. I was still playing Call of Duty in my room, just doing my own thing. And I remember when I heard the maid enter the door and saying, "Oh, hi, like, good to see you guys," as my parents were about to leave. I remember once my parents left the door and the maid closed the door for, you know, her to start her cleaning thing, she instantly went upstairs and went straight to my room and said, "Hey, Baba, it's been a while since I last saw you. What have you been up to?" I look at her and I'm like, what? Because I didn't know what to tell the chick that was supposed to be literally cleaning my house what I was up to. Like, what am I supposed to tell her? Oh, like, you know, I'm just chilling at home playing Call of Duty. Simple as that. Like, what was I supposed to say to her? Anyway, she looks over at me in the most weirdest way, and she keeps glancing at me as if I was like some kind of candy to her. And then she ends up just leaving my room, closing my door, and going back to clean the house. And then I remember as she was like cleaning the house and stuff, I'm just like kind of just like doing my own thing and just playing the game. And then I hear a crash. All I hear is like a and I'm like, what in the world just happened? I started stressing out, so I remember I ended up going downstairs and I saw that she ended up breaking a plate. But this was no ordinary plate. This is one of my mom's like fine china that she had originally. And at this point, I remember I looked at her and I'm like, no way you just broke that plate. How could you do that? She looks at me and she's like, okay, listen, we cannot tell your parents. I'm gonna clean it up and everything will be fine. Do you know where your mom got the plate in the first place? I looked at her and I'm like, no, I don't know where she got the plate. It was like some fine china, dude. I don't know where she got it from. And then she looks at me, she's like, listen, Bubba, you cannot tell your parents at all what just happened. I'm like, no, I have to. And after that, she's like, oh yeah, then I'm gonna say you did it. And I look at her, I'm like, you can't do that. They'll never believe that. I would never break my mom's plate like that. And then she looks over at me and she's like, oh yeah, well then if you tell them, I'm gonna tell them your dirty little secret. And I'm like, what? And then she said that you have a crush on me. No, I don't, is what I told her, because like I only had one crush when I was back in middle school, and that was my middle school crush. And then she ended up saying, oh yeah, then why do you keep staring at me then? And I said, because you make me stare at you. I don't know what that means, but honestly, like, it was the only answer I could think of at the time. But going on. And then what ended up happening next was the most weirdest and most awkwardest thing ever. She literally says, oh yeah, then look at this, and then takes off her top. Like, she ended up literally flashing me, and I saw her cherries, bro. Like, what? Honestly, it was super awkward. And I remember I told him, like, oh my goodness, like, stop it. That's so not right, dude. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I was staring him down like crazy. And then she ends up putting it back on, and she's like, okay, well, I showed you that. Do not tell your parents. I remember I looked at her and I'm like, that's not the deal. Like, what? We're not even making a deal. I have to tell my mom that you broke the china. She looks at me all pissed off and she's like, listen to me. I will give you and send you something, and it's a super secret link to my life. And if you do, then it could be a secret for a secret. I ended up looking at her. I'm like, what kind of secret? Because I was actually kind of curious. And she's like, I'll show you how I make millions of dollars. I ended up looking at her. I'm like, millions of dollars? She literally looks at me again. She's like, millions of dollars. You heard me. And she literally gave me $500 in cash. Now, $500 back when I was a kid was a lot. So I knew that she was right about something, that she was making money, and it was not just from being a maid. So I remember I shook her hand and it was a deal. After that, I remember I went back up straight to my room and I ended up sitting in my room playing Call of Duty again because, well, we made a fair deal. I wouldn't say anything about the plate or the fine china, and she would send me her darkest secret of how she made so much money. And on top of that, you know, I got $500. Like, I'm not really gonna complain, am I? Anyways, going on, I remember like as I'm up in my room, I want to say an hour goes by. And when an hour goes by, I realized that there was a knock on my door. I remember I ended up just turning towards the door and saying, oh, like, you can just come in. She comes into the room and then she brings her friend. And her friend was there originally that I saw in the last episode. If you guys didn't see the last episode of, you know, the story time, you guys would not know who I'm talking about. But let's just say she had a friend that also came and worked with her. And she came into the room and she said, hey, I'm gonna give you this. And she handed me a flash drive. That is my secret of how I made millions of dollars. And you cannot tell your parents. You understand me? I ended up looking at her and I saw the other girl and I'm like, yeah, like, I won't say anything. We made a deal. And after that, she smiles and then walks out of the room. And then after that, the other girl, which was her friend that was working with her, she looks at me as well and she's like, by the way, like, you're really nasty, aren't you? And then she walks out of the room. I had no idea why now she hated me, but something wasn't connecting. Anyways, after that, I remember they ended up leaving the house because they finished their work. And I remember I was just at home sitting on my Xbox, not knowing what to do at all. But I kept staring down at the flash drive that she gave me. When I saw her flash drive, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna open it. So that's what I did. I went downstairs. I stole my dad's laptop that he used for work because both my parents were home at the time. And I literally just sat down in the living room and plugged in the flash drive knowing that I could make thousands of dollars from what she is about to give me. And instantly when I plugged in the flash drive, I saw there was a notepad and it was just a basic link. I didn't know what this link led to. So I remember I ended up opening the link and putting it in Google. And what it was legit a website where she went live on and showing people her, you know, herself. Let's just say she was like basically on the hub. Okay. She was a hub star basically, but on a different website. I remember when I saw that, I instantly started like freaking out. I'm like, no way. This is evidence to prove to my parents that we should not hire her again. And then after that, I remember I saw that she ended up going live. And when she was live, in the background of the stream that she was doing, my underwear that she stole and my devil's cream towel was in the background of the live stream. She was legit using them for content. Honestly, this blew my mind. And I remember I instantly went to go show my parents and I told them, you cannot hire this girl anymore. She's legit a star, a hub star, mom. And then my mom has ended up calling her and ended up, you know, firing her. And then she was all pissed off, yelling over the phone about how like I broke China. But honestly, I told her that I didn't. And she believed me more because, well, you know, I proved my point and proved my parents that I was right. And yeah, long story short, that was basically the story of me and the maid. That's literally it. Honestly, it was crazy to know that the entire time she was just stealing things from me and using it to like, you know, use on the internet on her Hubstar channel. But it was actually insane how it all went down. Anyways, other than that, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, didn't mention I'm live on Twitch. So if you guys do want to watch something live, go ahead and click in the description down below and watch me live playing video games and telling crazy stories like this one. Anyways, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys.